Joshua, chapter 1. Now it came to pass after the death of Moses, the servant of Lord, that Lord spoke to Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, to the land which I give to them, even to the sons of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, to you I have given it, as I spoke to Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even to the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and to the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your border. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage, for thou shalt cause this people to inherit the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous to observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou may have good success wherever thou go. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate on it day and night, that thou may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt. Have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not frightened, neither be thou dismayed, for Lord thy God is with thee wherever thou go. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, Pass through the midst of the camp, and command the people, saying, Prepare food for you. For within 3 days ye are to pass over this Jordan to go in to possess the land which Lord your God gives you to possess it. And to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh, Joshua spoke, saying, Remember the word which Moses the servant of Lord commanded you, saying, Lord your God gives you rest, and will give you this land. Your wives, your little ones, and your cattle shall abide in the land which Moses gave you beyond the Jordan. But ye shall pass over before your brothers armed, all the mighty men of valor, and shall help them until Lord has given your brothers rest, as you, and they also have possessed the land which Lord your God gives them. Then ye shall return to the land of your possession, and possess it which Moses the servant of Lord gave you be. And they answered Joshua, saying, All that thou have commanded us we will do, and wherever thou send us we will go. According as we hearkened to Moses in all things, so will we hearken to thee. Only Lord thy God be with thee, as he was with Moses. Whoever he is who shall rebel against thy commandment, and shall not hearken to thy words, in all that thou command him, he shall be put to death. Only be strong and of good courage. Chapter 2. And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men as spies secretly, saying, Go, view the land and Jericho. And they went and came into the house of a harlot whose name was Rahab, and lay there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, men came in here tonight of the sons of Israel to search out the land. And the king of Jericho sent to Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men who came to thee, who have entered into thy house, for they have come to search out all the land. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them. And she said, Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know from where they were. And it came to pass about the time of the shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Where the men went, I know not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye will overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof, and hid them with the stalks of flax which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the men pursued after them the way to the Jordan to the fords, and as soon as those who pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up to them upon the roof. And she said to the men, I know that Lord has given you the land, and that the fear of you has fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land melt away before you. For we have heard how Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea before you when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did to the 2 kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan, to Sihon and to Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And as soon as we had heard it, our hearts melted, neither did there remain any more spirit in any man because of you. For Lord your God, he is God in heaven above and on earth beneath. Now therefore I pray you, swear to me by Lord, since I have dealt kindly with you, that ye also will deal kindly with my father's house, and give me a true token, and that ye will save alive my father, and my mother, and my brothers, and my sisters, and all that they have, and will deliver our lives from death. And the men said to her, Our life for yours, if you were in the window which thou lettest down by. And thou shalt gather to thee into the house thy father, and thy mother, and thy brothers, and all thy fathers. And it shall be, that whoever shall go out of the doors of thy house into the street, his blood shall be upon his head, and we shall be guiltless. And whoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be on our head, if any. But if thou utter this our business, then we shall be guiltless of thine oath which thou have made us to swear. And she said, According to your words, so be it. And she sent them away, and they departed. And she bound the scarlet line in the window. And they went and came to the mountain, and abode there 3 days, until the pursuers were returned. And the pursuers sought them throughout all the way, but did not find them. Then the 2 men returned, and descended from the mountain, and passed over, and came to Joshua the son of Nun. And they told him all that had befallen them. And they said to Joshua, Truly Lord has delivered into our hands all the land, and moreover all the inhabitants of the land melt away before us. Chapter 3. And Joshua rose up early in the morning, and they moved from Shittim and came to the Jordan, he and all the sons of Israel, and they lodged there before they passed over. And it came to pass after 3 days that the officers went through the midst of the camp, and they commanded the people, saying, When ye see the ark of the covenant of Lord your God, and the priests the Levites bearing it, then ye shall move from your place and go after it. Yet there shall be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Do not come near to it, that ye may know the way by which ye must go, for ye have not passed this way heretofore. And Joshua said to the people, Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow Lord will do wonders among you. And Joshua spoke to the priests, saying, Take up the ark of the covenant, and pass over before the people. And they took up the ark of the covenant, and went before the people. And Lord said to Joshua, This day I will begin to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. And thou shalt command the priests who bear the ark of the covenant, saying, When ye have come to the brink of the waters of the Jordan, ye shall stand still in the Jordan. And Joshua said to the sons of Israel, Come here, and hear the words of Lord your God. And Joshua said, Hereby ye shall know that the living God is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Hivite, and the Perizzite, and the Girgashite, and the Amorite. Behold, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth passes over before you into the Jordan. Now therefore take for you 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, for every tribe a man. And it shall come to pass, when the soles of the feet of the priests who bear the ark of the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of the Jordan, that the waters of the Jordan shall be cut off, even the waters that... And it came to pass, when the people moved from their tents to pass over the Jordan, the priests who bore the ark of the covenant being before the people, and when those who bore the ark came to the Jordan, and the feet of the priests who bore the ark were dipped in the brink of the water, for the Jordan overflows all its banks all the time of harvest, that the waters which came down from above stood and rose up in one heap a great way off, at Adam, the city that is beside Zarethan, and those that went down toward the sea of the Arabah, even the salt sea, were wholly cut off. And the priests who bore the ark of the covenant of Lord stood firm on dry ground in the midst of the Jordan, and all Israel passed over on dry ground until all the nation were passed clean over the Jordan. Chapter 4. And it came to pass, when all the nation were clean passed over the Jordan, that Lord spoke to Joshua, saying, Take for you 12 men out of the people, a man out of every tribe, and command ye them, saying, Take for you here out of the midst of the Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones, and carry them over with you, and lay them down in the lodging place where ye shall then. Joshua called the 12 men whom he had prepared of the sons of Israel, a man out of every tribe. And Joshua said to them, Pass over before the ark of Lord your God into the midst of the Jordan, and take ye up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Israel, that this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask in time to come, saying, What do ye mean by these stones? Then ye shall say to them, Because the waters of the Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of Lord. When it passed over the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial to thee. And the sons of Israel did so, as Joshua commanded, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of the Jordan, as Lord spoke to Joshua, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Israel, and they carried them over with them. And Joshua set up 12 stones in the midst of the Jordan, in the place where the feet of the priests who bore the ark of the covenant stood, and they are there to this day. For the priests who bore the ark stood in the midst of the Jordan until everything was finished that Lord commanded Joshua to speak to the people, according to all that Moses commanded Joshua. And the people hastened and passed over. And it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed over, that the ark of Lord passed over, and the priests in the presence of the people. And the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh passed over armed before the sons of Israel, as Moses spoke to them. About 40,000 ready armed for war passed over before Lord to battle, to the plains of Jericho. On that day Lord magnified Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they feared him, as they feared Moses, all the days of his life. And Lord spoke to Joshua, saying, Command the priests who bear the ark of the testimony that they come up out of the Jordan. Joshua therefore commanded the priests, saying, Come ye up out of the Jordan. And it came to pass, when the priests who bore the ark of the covenant of Lord came up out of the midst of the Jordan, and the soles of the priests' feet were lifted up to the dry ground, that the waters of the Jordan returned to T, and the people came up out of the Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and encamped in Gilgal on the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of the Jordan Joshua set up in Gilgal. And he spoke to the sons of Israel, saying, When your sons shall ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What do these stones mean? Then ye shall let your sons know, saying, Israel came over this Jordan on dry land. For Lord your God dried up the waters of the Jordan from before you, until ye were passed over, as Lord your God did to the Red Sea, which he dried up from before us, until we were passed over, that all the peoples of the earth may know the hand of Lord, that it is mighty, that ye may fear Lord your God forever. Chapter 5. And it came to pass, when all the kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites who were by the sea, heard how that Lord had dried up the waters of the Jordan from before the sons. At that time Lord said to Joshua, Make for thee knives of flint, and circumcise again the sons of Israel the second time. And Joshua made him knives of flint, and circumcised the sons of Israel at the hill of the foreskins. And this is the reason why Joshua circumcised all the people who came forth out of Egypt, who were males, even all the men of war, died in the wilderness by the way after they came forth out of Egypt. For all the people who came out were circumcised, but all the people who were born in the wilderness by the way as they came forth out of Egypt, they had not circumcised. For the sons of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, till all the nation, even the men of war who came forth out of Egypt, were consumed, because they did not hearken to the voice of Lord, to whom Lord swore that he would know. And their sons, whom he raised up in their stead, them Joshua circumcised, for they were uncircumcised because they had not circumcised them by the way. And it came to pass, when they had done circumcising all the nation, that they abode in their places in the camp, till they were recovered. And Lord said to Joshua, "This day I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you." Therefore the name of that place was called Gilgal to this day. And the sons of Israel encamped in Gilgal, and they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at evening in the plains of Jericho. And they ate of the produce of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched grain, in the selfsame day. And the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the produce of the land. Neither had the sons of Israel manna any more, but they ate of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. And it came to pass, when Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man opposite him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went to him and said to him, "Art thou for us, or for?" And he said, "No, but as captain of the army of Lord I have now come." And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and worshipped, and said to him, "What does my Lord say to his servant?" And the captain of Lord's army said to Joshua, "Put off thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place on which thou stand is holy." And Joshua did so. Chapter 6. Now Jericho was shut up tight because of the sons of Israel. None went out, and none came in. And Lord said to Joshua, "See, I have given Jericho into thy hand, and the king of it, and the mighty men of valor. And ye shall encompass the city, all the men of war, going round the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days, and 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark. And the 7th day ye shall encompass the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow the trumpets. And it shall be, that, when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout. And the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall gee. And Joshua, the son of Nun, called the priests, and said to them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of Lord. And they said to the people, Pass on and encompass the city, and let the armed men pass on before the ark of Lord. And it was so that when Joshua had spoken to the people, the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns before Lord passed on and blew the trumpets. And the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them, and the armed men went before the priests who blew the trumpets, and the rearward went behind the ark, the priests blowing the trumpets as they went. And Joshua commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor let your voice be heard. Neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout. Then ye shall shout. So he caused the ark of the Lord to encompass the city, going around it once. And they came into the camp, and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of Lord. And the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of Lord went on continually and blew the trumpets. And the armed men went before them, and the rearward came behind the ark of Lord. The priests blow. And the 2nd day they encompassed the city once, and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early at the dawning of the day, and encompassed the city according to the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they encompassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priests blew the trumpets, Joshua said to the people, Shout, for Lord has given you the city, and the city shall be set apart, even it, and all that is in it, to Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all who are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. But as for you, only keep yourselves from what is set apart, lest when ye have set it apart, ye take from what is set apart. So ye would make the camp of Israel accursed and trouble it. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are holy to Lord. They shall come into the treasury of Lord. So the people shouted, and the priests blew the trumpets. And it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, that the people shouted with a great shout, and the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up in. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, both young and old, and ox, and sheep, and donkey, with the edge of the sword. And Joshua said to the 2 men who had spied out the land, Go into the harlot's house, and bring out there the woman, and all that she has, as ye swore to her. And the young men, the spies, went in and brought out Rahab, and her father, and her mother, and her brothers, and all that she had. They also brought out all her kindred, and they set them outside the camp of Israel. And they burnt the city with fire, and all that was in it. Only the silver and the gold and the vessels of brass and of iron they put into the treasury of the house of Lord. But Joshua saved alive Rahab the harlot, and her father's household, and all that she had. And she dwelt in the midst of Israel to this day, because she hid the messengers whom Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. And Joshua charged them with an oath at that time, saying, Cursed be the man before Lord who rises up and builds this city Jericho. With the loss of his firstborn he shall lay the foundation of it, and with the loss of his younges. So Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was in all the land. Chapter 7. But the sons of Israel committed a trespass in what was set apart. For Achan the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took from what was set apart, and the anger of Lord was kindled against thee, and Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Beth-aven, on the east side of Bethel, and spoke to them, saying, Go up and spy out the land. And the men went up and spied out Ai. And they returned to Joshua and said to him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai. Do not make all the people to toil there, for they are but few. So there went up there of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, and they chased them from before the gate even to Shebarim, and smote them at the descent. And the hearts of the people melted and became as water, and Joshua tore his clothes, and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of Lord until the evening, he and the elders of Israel, and they put dust upon their heads. And Joshua said, Alas, O Lord, Lord, why have thou at all brought this people over the Jordan, to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to cause us to perish? Would that we had been content and dwelt beyond the Jordan. O Lord, what shall I say after Israel has turned their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land will hear of it, and will encompass us around, and cut off our name from the earth. And what wilt thou do for thy great name? And Lord said to Joshua, Get thee up. Why art thou thus fallen upon thy face? Israel has sinned. Yes, they have even transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. Yes, they have even taken from what was set apart, and have also stolen, and also dissembled. And they have even put it among their own stuff. Therefore the sons of Israel cannot stand before their enemies. They turn their backs before their enemies, because they have become accursed. I will not be with you any more unless you destroy what was set apart from among you. Up, sanctify the people, and say, Sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus says Lord, the God of Israel, There is what has been set apart in the midst of thee, O Israel. Thou cannot stand before thine enemies until ye take awe. In the morning therefore ye shall be brought near by your tribes, and it shall be that the tribe which Lord takes shall come near by families, and the family which Lord shall take shall come near by households, and the household when it shall be, that he who is taken with the devoted thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he has, because he has transgressed the covenant of Lord, and because he has wrought folly in Israel. So Joshua rose up early in the morning, and brought Israel near by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken. And he brought near the family of Judah, and he took the family of the Zerahites. And he brought near the family of the Zerahites man by man. And Zabdi was taken. And he brought near his household man by man. And Achan the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, was taken. And Joshua said to Achan, My son, give, I pray thee, glory to Lord the God of Israel. and make confession to him, and tell me now what thou have done. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said, Of a truth I have sinned against Lord the God of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoil a goodly Babylon mantle, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them, and took them. And behold, they are hid in the ground in the midst of my tent. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran to the tent. And behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them from the midst of the tent, and brought them to Joshua, and to all the sons of Israel, and they laid them down before Lord. And Joshua, and all Israel with him, took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the mantle, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his donkeys, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had. And Joshua said, Why have thou troubled us? Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and they burned them with fire, and stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones to this day, and Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger. Therefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor to this day. Chapter 8. And Lord said to Joshua, Fear not, neither be thou dismayed. Take all the people of war with thee, and arise, go up to Ai. See, I have given into thy hand the king of Ai, and his people, and his city, and his land. And thou shalt do to Ai and her king as thou did to Jericho and her king. Only the spoil of it and the cattle of it ye shall take for a prey to yourselves. Set thee an ambush for the city behind it. So Joshua arose and all the people of war to go up to Ai. And Joshua chose out 30,000 men, the mighty men of valor, and sent them forth by night. And he commanded them, saying, Behold, ye shall lay an ambush against the city behind the city. Go not very far from the city, but be ye all ready. And I, and all the people that are with me, will approach to the city. And it shall come to pass, when they come out against us, as at the first, that we will flee before them. And they will come out after us till we have drawn them away from the city. For they will say, They flee before us, as at the first. So we will flee before them. And ye shall rise up from the ambush, and take possession of the city. For Lord your God will deliver it into your hand. And it shall be, when ye have seized upon the city, that ye shall set the city on fire. According to the word of Lord shall ye do. See, I have commanded you. And Joshua sent them forth, and they went to the ambushment, and abode between Bethel and Ai, on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged that night among the people. And Joshua arose up early in the morning, and mustered the people, and went up, he and the elders of Israel, before the people to Ai. And all the people, even the men of war who were with him, went up, and drew near, and came before the city, and encamped on the north side of Ai. Now there was a valley between him and Ai, and he took about 5,000 men, and set them in ambush between Bethel and Ai, on the west side of the city. So they set the people, even all the army that was on the north of the city, and their ambushment that were on the west of the city. And Joshua went that night into the midst of the valley. And it came to pass, when the king of Ai saw it, that they hastened and rose up early. And the men of the city went out against Israel to battle, he and all his people, at the time appointed, before the Arabah. But he did not know, and Joshua and all Israel made as if they were beaten before them, and fled by the way of the wilderness. And all the people that were in the city were called together to pursue after them. And they pursued after Joshua, and were drawn away from the city. And there was not a man left in Ai or Bethel who did not go out after Israel. And they left the city open, and pursued after Israel. And Lord said to Joshua, Stretch out the javelin that is in thy hand toward Ai, for I will give it into thy hand. And Joshua stretched out the javelin that was in his hand toward the city. And the ambush arose quickly out of their place, and they ran as soon as he had stretched out his hand, and entered into the city, and took it. And they hastened, and set the city on fire. And when the men of Ai looked behind them, they saw, and behold, the smoke of the city ascended up to heaven, and they had no power to flee this way or that way. And the people who fled to the wilderness turned back upon the pursuit. And when Joshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city, and that the smoke of the city ascended, then they turned again, and killed the men of Ai. And the others came forth out of the city against them. So they were in the midst of Israel, some on this side, and some on that side. And they smote them so that they let none of them remain or escape. And they took the king of Ai alive, and brought him to Joshua. And it came to pass, when Israel had made an end of killing all the inhabitants of Ai in the field, in the wilderness in which they pursued them, and they were all fallen by the edge of the sword until they were consumed, that all in all who fell that day, both of men and women, were 12,000, even all the men of Ai. For Joshua did not draw back his hand, with which he stretched out the javelin, until he had utterly destroyed all the inhabitants of Ai. Only the cattle and the spoil of that city Israel took for prey to themselves, according to the word of Lord, which he commanded Joshua. So Joshua burnt Ai, and made it a heap forever, even a desolation to this day. And he hanged the king of Ai on a tree until the evening. And at the going down of the sun Joshua commanded, and they took his body down from the tree, and cast it at the entrance of the gate of the city, and raised a great heap of. Then Joshua built an altar to Lord, the God of Israel, in Mount Ebal, as Moses the servant of Lord commanded the sons of Israel, as it is written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of unhewn stones upon which no man had lifted up any iron. And they offered burnt offerings on it to Lord, and as. And he wrote there upon the stones a copy of the law of Moses, which he wrote, in the presence of the sons of Israel. And all Israel and their elders and officers and their judges stood on this side of the ark and on that side before the priests, the Levites, who bore the ark of the covenant of Lord, as well the sojourner as the homeborn. Half and afterward he read all the words of the law, the blessing and the curse, according to all that is written in the book of the law. There was not a word of all that Moses commanded, which Joshua did not read before all the assembly of Israel, and the women and the little ones, and the sojourners who were among them. Chapter 9. And it came to pass, when all the kings who were beyond the Jordan in the hill country, and in the lowland, and on all the shore of the great sea in front of Lebanon, the Hittite and the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Perizzite, that they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord. But when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and to Ai, they also worked shrewdly, and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their donkeys, and wineskins, old and torn and bound up, and old and patched shoes upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry, and became moldy. And they went to Joshua to the camp at Gilgal, and said to him, and to the men of Israel, We have come from a far country. Now therefore make ye a covenant with us. And the men of Israel said to the Hivites, Perhaps ye dwell among us, and how shall we make a covenant with you? And they said to Joshua, We are thy servants. And Joshua said to them, Who are ye, and from where do ye come? And they said to him, From a very far country. Thy servants have come because of the name of Lord thy God. For we have heard the fame of him, and all that he did in Egypt, and all that he did to the 2 kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan, to Sihon king of Heshbon, and to Og king of Bashan, who was at Ashtaroth. And our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spoke to us, saying, Take provision in your hand for the journey, and go to meet them, and say to them, We are your servants, and now make ye a covenant with us. This our bread we took hot for our provision out of our houses on the day we came forth to go to you. But now, behold, it is dry, and has become moldy. And these wineskins which we filled were new, and behold, they are torn. And these our garments and our shoes have become old by reason of the very long journey. And the men took of their provision and did not ask counsel at the mouth of Lord. And Joshua made peace with them, and made a covenant with them to let them live, and the rulers of the congregation swore to them. And it came to pass at the end of 3 days after they had made a covenant with them, that they heard that they were their neighbors, and that they dwelt among them. And the sons of Israel journeyed and came to their cities on the 3rd day. Now their cities were Gibeon, and Shephirah, and Beeroth, and Kiriath-Jearim. And the sons of Israel did not smite them, because the rulers of the congregation had sworn to them by Lord, the God of Israel. And all the congregation murmured against the rulers. But all the rulers said to all the congregation, We have sworn to them by Lord, the God of Israel. Now, therefore, we may not touch them. This we will do to them and let them live, lest wrath be upon us because of the oath which we swore to them. And the rulers said to them, Let them live. So they became hewers of wood and drawers of water to all the congregation, as the rulers had spoken to them. And Joshua called for them, and he spoke to them, saying, Why have ye beguiled us, saying, We are very far from you, when ye dwell among us? Now therefore ye are cursed, and there shall never fail to be bondmen of you, both hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God. And they answered Joshua, and said, Because it was certainly told thy servants, how that Lord thy God commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land, and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. And now, behold, we are in thy hand. As it seems good and right to thee to do to us, do. And so he did to them, and delivered them out of the hand of the sons of Israel, that they did not kill them. And Joshua made them that day hewers of wood and drawers of water for the congregation, and for the altar of Lord to this day, in the place which he should choose. Chapter 10. Now it came to pass, when Adoni-Zedek king of Jerusalem heard how Joshua had taken Ai and had utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho and her king, so he had done to Ai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had that they feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city, as one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all the men of it were mighty. Therefore Adoni-Zedek king of Jerusalem sent to Hoham king of Hebron, and to Piram king of Jarmuth, and to Japhia king of Lachish, and to Debir king of Eglon, saying, Come up to me and help me, and let us smite Gibeon, for it has made peace with Joshua and with the sons of Israel. Therefore the 5 kings of the Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon, gathered themselves together and went up, they and all their armies, and encamped at Gai. And the men of Gibeon sent to Joshua to the camp, to Gilgal, saying, Slack not thy hand from thy servants. Come up to us quickly, and save us and help us, for all the kings of the Amorites who dwell in the hill country are gathered. So Joshua went up from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. And Lord said to Joshua, Fear them not, for I have delivered them into thy hands. There shall not a man of them stand before thee. Joshua therefore came upon them suddenly, for he went up from Gilgal all the night. And Lord discomfited them before Israel, and he killed them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, and chased them by the way of the ascent of Beth-horon, and smote them to Azekah, and to Makkedah. And it came to pass, as they fled from before Israel while they were at the descent of Beth-horon, that Lord cast down great stones from heaven upon them to Azekah, and they died. More died with the hailstones than those whom the then Joshua spoke to Lord in the day when Lord delivered up the Amorites before the sons of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou, moon, in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the nation had avenged themselves of their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jeshar? And the sun stayed in the midst of heaven, and hastened not to go down about a hole. And there was no day like that before it or after it. that Lord hearkened to the voice of a man, for Lord fought for Israel. And Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, to the camp at Gilgal. And these 5 kings fled, and hid themselves in the cave at Makkedah. And it was told Joshua, saying, The 5 kings are found hidden in the cave at Makkedah. And Joshua said, Roll great stones to the mouth of the cave, and set men by it to keep them, but stay ye not. Pursue after your enemies, and smite the hindmost of them. Do not allow them to enter into their cities, for Lord your God has delivered them into your hand. And it came to pass, when Joshua and the sons of Israel had made an end of killing them with a very great slaughter, till they were consumed, and the remnant which remained of them had entered into the fortified cities, that all the people returned to the camp to Joshua at Makkedah in peace. No man moved his tongue against any of the sons of Israel. Then Joshua said, Open the mouth of the cave, and bring forth those 5 kings to me out of the cave. And they did so, and brought forth those 5 kings to him out of the cave, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon. And it came to pass, when they brought forth those kings to Joshua, that Joshua called for all the men of Israel, and said to the chiefs of the men of war who went with him, Come near, put your feet upon the necks of these kings. And Joshua said to them, Fear not, nor be dismayed. Be strong and of good courage, for thus shall Lord do to all your enemies against whom ye fight. And afterward Joshua smote them, and put them to death, and hanged them on 5 trees. And they were hanging upon the trees until the evening. And it came to pass at the time of the going down of the sun, that Joshua commanded, and they took them down off the trees, and cast them into the cave in which they had hidden themselves, and laid great stones on the mouth of the. And Joshua took Makkedah on that day, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and the king of it. He utterly destroyed them, and all the souls that were in it. He left none remaining. And he did to the king of Makkedah as he had to. And Joshua passed from Makkedah, and all Israel with him, to Libnah, and fought against Libnah. And Lord delivered it also, and the king of it, him and his people, until he had left him none remaining. And Joshua passed from Lachish, and all Israel with him, to Eglon. And they encamped against it, and fought against it. And they took it on that day, and smote it with the edge of the sword. And all the souls that were in it he utterly destroyed that day, according to all that he had done to Lachish. And Joshua went up from Eglon, and all Israel with him, to Hebron. And they fought against it, and they took it, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and the king of it, and all the cities of it, and all the souls that were in it. He left none remaining according to all that he had done to Eglon. But he utterly destroyed, and Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, to Debir, and fought against it. And he took it, and the king of it, and all the cities of it. And they smote them with the edge of the sword, and utterly destroyed all the souls that were in it. He left none remaining. As he had done to Hebron, so he did to Debir. So Joshua smote all the land, the hill country, and the south, and the lowland, and the slopes, and all their kings. He left none remaining, but he utterly destroyed all that breathed, as Lord, the God of Israel, commanded. And Joshua smote them from Kadesh Barnea, even to Gaza, and all the country of Goshen, even to Gibeon. And all these kings and their land Joshua took at one time, because Lord, the God of Israel, fought for Israel. And Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, to the camp to Gilgal. Chapter 11. And it came to pass, when Jabin king of Hazor heard of it, that he sent to Jobab king of Madon, and to the king of Shimron, and to the king of Akshaph, and to the kings who were on the north in the hill country, and in the Arabah south of Chinneroth, and in the lowland, and in the heights of Dor on the west, to the Canaanite on the east and on the west, and the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Jebusite in the hill country, and the Hivite under Hermon, in the land of Mizpah. And they went out, they and all their armies with them, much people, even as the sand that is upon the seashore in multitude, with horses and chariots, very many. And all these kings met together. And they came and encamped together at the waters of Merom to fight with Israel. And Lord said to Joshua, Be not afraid because of them, for tomorrow at this time I will deliver them up all slain before Israel. Thou shalt hawk their horses, and burn their chariots with fire. So Joshua came, and all the people of war with him against them by the waters of Merom suddenly, and fell upon them. And Lord delivered them into the hand of Israel, and they smote them, and chased them to great Sidon, and to Misrephoth-maim, and to the valley of Mizpeh eastward. And they smote them until they left them none remaining. And Joshua did to them as Lord bade him. He hawked their horses and burnt their chariots with fire. And Joshua turned back at that time and took Hazor, and smote the king of it with the sword, for Hazor was formerly the head of all those kingdoms. And they smote all the souls who were in it with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying them. There was none left that breathed, and he burnt Hazor with fire. And all the cities of those kings, and all the kings of them Joshua took, and he smote them with the edge of the sword, and utterly destroyed them, as Moses the servant of Lord commanded. But as for the cities that stood on their mounds, Israel burned none of them, except only Hazor. Joshua burned that, and all the spoil of these cities, and the cattle, the sons of Israel took for a prey to themselves. But every man they smote with the edge of the sword until they had destroyed them. Neither did they leave any who breathed. As Lord commanded Moses his servant, so Moses commanded Joshua, and so Joshua did. He left nothing undone of all that Lord commanded Moses. So Joshua took all that land, the hill country, and all the south, and all the land of Goshen, and the lowland, and the Arabah, and the hill country of Israel, and the lowland of the same, from Mount Halak, that goes up to Seir, even to Baalgad in the valley of Lebanon under Mount Hermon. And he took all their kings and smote them and put them to death. Joshua made war a long time with all those kings. There was not a city that made peace with the sons of Israel, except the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. They took all in battle, for it was of Lord to harden their hearts, to come against Israel in battle, that he might utterly destroy them, that they might have no favor, but that he might destroy them as Lord commanded Moses. And Joshua came at that time, and cut off the Anakim from the hill country, from Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the hill country of Judah, and from all the hill country of Israel. Joshua utterly destroyed them with thee. There was none of the Anakim left in the land of the sons of Israel. Only in Gaza, in Gath, and in Ashdod some remained. So Joshua took the whole land, according to all that Lord spoke to Moses. And Joshua gave it for an inheritance to Israel, according to their divisions by their tribes. And the land had rest from war. Chapter 12. Now these are the kings of the land whom the sons of Israel smote, and possessed their land beyond the Jordan toward the sunrise, from the valley of the Arnon to Mount Hermon, and all the Arabah eastward. Sihon king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, and ruled from Aroer, which is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon, and the middle of the valley, and half Gilead, even to the river Jabbok, the border of the sons of Ammon, and the Arabah to the sea of Chinneroth eastward, and to the sea of the Arabah, even the salt sea eastward, the way to Beth Jeshimoth, and on the south under the slopes of Pisgah, and the border of Og king of Bashan, of the remnant of the Rephaim, who dwelt at Ashtaroth and at Edrei, and ruled in Mount Hermon and in Salekah, and in all Bashan, to the border of the Geshurites and the Maccathites, and half Gilead, the border of Sihon, king of Heshbon. Moses, the servant of Lord, and the sons of Israel smote them. And Moses, the servant of Lord, gave it for a possession to the Reubenites, and the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. And these are the kings of the land whom Joshua and the sons of Israel smote beyond the Jordan westward, from Baal-gad in the valley of Lebanon even to Mount Halak, that goes up to Seir, And Joshua gave it to the tribes of Israel in the hill country, and in the lowland, and in the Arabah, and in the slopes, and in the wilderness, and in the south, the Hittite, the Amorite, and the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, the king of Jericho, 1, the king of Ai, which is beside Bethel, 1, the king of Jerusalem, 1, the king of Hebron, 1, the king of Jarmuth, 1, the king of Lachish, 1, the king of Eglon, 1, the king of Gezer, 1, the king of Debir, 1, the king of Geder, 1, the king of Hormah, 1, the king of Arid, 1, the king of Libnah, 1, the king of Adullam, 1, the king of Makkedah, 1, the king of Bethel, 1, the king of Tappuah, 1, the king of Hepher, 1, the king of Aphek, 1, the king of Lasharon, 1, the king of Madon, 1, the king of Hazor, 1, the king of Shimron Meron, 1, the king of Akshaph, 1, the king of Tanakh, 1, the king of Megiddo, 1, the king of Kadesh, 1, the king of Jokneam in Carmel, 1, the king of Dor in the height of Dor, 1, the king of Goyim in Gilgal, 1, the king of Tirzah, 1, all the kings, 31. Chapter 13. Now Joshua was old and well stricken in years, and Lord said to him, Thou art old and well stricken in years, and there remains yet very much land to be possessed. This is the land that yet remains, all the regions of the Philistines, and all the Geshurites, from the Shihor, which is before Egypt, even to the border of Ekron northward, which is reckoned to the Canaanites, the 5 lords of the Philistines, the Gazites, and the Ashdodites, the Ashkelonites, the Gittites, and the Ekron on the south, all the land of the Canaanites, and Mearah that belongs to the Sidonians, to Aphek, to the border of the Amorites, and the land of the Gebalites, and all Lebanon toward the sunrise, from Baalgad under Mount Hermon to the entrance of Hamath, all the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon to Misrephoth Maim, even all the Sidonians. I will drive them out from before the sons of Israel. Only allot thou it to Israel for an inheritance, as I have commanded thee. Now therefore divide this land for an inheritance to the 9 tribes, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. With him the Reubenites and the Gadites received their inheritance, which Moses gave them, beyond the Jordan eastward, even as Moses the servant of Lord gave them, from Aroer, that is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon, and the city that is in the middle of the valley, and all the plain of Medeba, to Dibon, and all the cities of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, to the border of the sons of Ammon, and Gilead, and the border of the Geshurites and Maacathites, and all Mount Hermon, and all Bashan to Salekah, all the kingdom of Og in Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth and in Edrei. The same was left of the remnant of the Rephaim. For these Moses smote and drove them out. Nevertheless the sons of Israel did not drive out the Geshurites, nor the Maacathites, but Gesher and Maacath dwell in the midst of Israel to this day. Only to the tribe of Levi he gave no inheritance. The offerings of Lord, the God of Israel, made by fire, are his inheritance, as he spoke to him. And Moses gave to the tribe of the sons of Reuben according to their families. And their border was from Aroer, that is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon, and the city that is in the middle of the valley, and all the plain by Medeba, Heshbon, and all its cities that are in the plain, Dibon, and Bamoth Baal, and Beth Baal Meon, and Jahaz, and Kedemoth, and Mephath, and Kiriataim, and Sibmah, and Zareth Shahar in the mount of the valley, and Beth Peor, and the slopes of Pisgah, and Beth Jeshimoth, and all the cities of the plain, and all the kingdom of Sihon king of the Amorites who reigned in Heshbon, whom Moses smote with the chiefs of Midian, Evi, and Rechem, and Zur, and Hur, and Reba. The rulers of Sihon, who dwelt in the sons of Israel, also killed Balaam the son of Beor, the diviner, with the sword among the rest of their slain. And the border of the sons of Reuben was the Jordan, and the border of it. This was the inheritance of the sons of Reuben according to their families, the cities and the villages of it. And Moses gave to the tribe of Gad, to the sons of Gad, according to their families. And their border was Jazer, and all the cities of Gilead, and half the land of the sons of Ammon, to Aroer, that is before Rabbah, and from Heshbon to Ramath Mizpeh, and Betonim, and from Mahanaim to the border of Debir, and in the valley, Beth Haram, and Beth Nimrah, and Succoth, and Zaphon, the rest of the kingdom of Sihon king of Heshbon, the Jordan, and the border of it, to the outermost part of the sea of Chinnereth, beyond the Jordan eastward. This is the inheritance of the sons of Gad, according to their families, the cities and the villages of it. And Moses gave to the half-tribe of Manasseh, and it was for the half-tribe of the sons of Manasseh, according to their families. And their border was from Mahanaim, all Bashan, all the kingdom of Og king of Bashan, and all the towns of Jair, which are in Bashan, 60 cities. And half Gilead, and Ashtaroth, and Edrei, the cities of the kingdom of Og, in Bashan, were for the sons of Machir, the son of Manasseh, even for the half of the sons of Machir, according to their families. These are the inheritances which Moses distributed in the plains of Moab, beyond the Jordan at Jericho, eastward. But to the tribe of Levi Moses gave no inheritance. Lord, the God of Israel, is their inheritance as he spoke to them. Chapter 14. And these are the inheritances which the sons of Israel took in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the sons of Israel distributed to them by the lot of their inheritance, as Lord commanded by Moses for the 9 tribes, and for the half-tribe. For Moses had given the inheritance of the 2 tribes and the half-tribe beyond the Jordan, but to the Levites he gave no inheritance among them. For the sons of Joseph were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim, and they gave no portion to the Levites in the land except cities to dwell in with the suburbs of it for their cattle and for their substance. As the Lord commanded Moses, so the sons of Israel did, and they divided the land. Then the sons of Judah drew near to Joshua in Gilgal, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite said to him, Thou know the thing that Lord spoke to Moses the man of God concerning me, and concerning thee in Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moses the servant of Lord sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought him word again, as it was in my heart. Nevertheless, my brothers who went up with me made the heart of the people melt, but I wholly followed Lord my God. And Moses swore on that day, saying, Surely the land in which thy foot has trodden shall be an inheritance to thee and to thy sons forever, because thou have wholly followed Lord my God. And now, behold, Lord has kept me alive as he spoke these 45 years, from the time that Lord spoke this word to Moses, while Israel walked in the wilderness. And now, lo, I am this day 85 years old. As yet I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me. As my strength was then, even so is my strength now for war, and to go out and to come in. Now therefore, give me this hill country of which Lord spoke in that day. For thou heard in that day how the Anakim were there, and cities great and fortified. It may be that Lord will be with me, and I shall drive them out, as Lord and Joshua blessed him. And he gave Hebron to Caleb the son of Jephunneh for an inheritance. Therefore Hebron became the inheritance of Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite to this day, because he wholly followed Lord the God of Israel. Now the name of Hebron was formerly Kiriath Arba. Arba was the greatest man among the Anakim, and the land had rest from war. Chapter 15. And the lot for the tribe of the sons of Judah according to their families was to the border of Edom, even to the wilderness of Zin southward, at the outermost part of the south. And their south border was from the outermost part of the Salt Sea, from the bay that looks southward. And it went out southward of the ascent of Akrabim, and passed along to Zin, and went up by the south of Kadesh Barnea, and passed along by Hezron, and went up to Adar, and turned about to Karka, and it passed along to Asmon, and went out at the brook of Egypt, and the goings out of the border were at the sea. This shall be your south border. And the east border was the salt sea, even to the end of the Jordan. And the border of the north quarter was from the bay of the sea at the end of the Jordan, and the border went up to Beth Hogla, and passed along by the north of Beth Araba, and the border went up to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben. And the border went up to Debir from the valley of Achor, and so northward looking toward Gilgal, that is opposite the ascent of Adumim, which is on the south side of the river, and the border passed along to the waters of En-Shei. And the border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnom to the side of the Jebusite southward. The same is Jerusalem. And the border went up to the top of the mountain that lays before the valley of Hinnom westward, which is and the border extended from the top of the mountain to the fountain of the waters of Nephtoah, and went out to the cities of Mount Ephron, and the border extended to Bala, the same as Kiriath Jearim. And the border turned about from Bala westward to Mount Seir, and passed along to the side of Mount Jearim on the north, the same as Chesalon, and went down to Beth Shemesh, and passed along by Timnah. And the border went out to the side of Ekron northward, and the border extended to Shikharon, and passed along to Mount Bala, and went out at Jabneel, and the goings out of the border were at the sea. And the west border was to the great sea, and the border of it. This is the border of the sons of Judah round about according to their families. And to Caleb the son of Jephunneh he gave a portion among the sons of Judah, according to the commandment of Lord to Joshua, even Kiriath Arba. Arba was the father of Anak, the same as Hebron. And Caleb drove out from there the 3 sons of Anak, Sheshai and Ahiman and Talmai, the children of Anak. And he went up from there against the inhabitants of Debir. Now the name of Debir formerly was Kiriath Sepher. And Caleb said, He who smites Kiriath Sepher and takes it, to him I will give Achsah my daughter to wife. And Othniel the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, took it, and he gave him Achsah his daughter to wife. And it came to pass when she came, that she moved him to ask of her father a field. And she alighted from off her donkey, and Caleb said, What would thou? And she said, Give me a blessing, because thou have set me in the land of the south. Give me also springs of water. And he gave her the upper springs and the nether springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Judah according to their families. And the outermost cities of the tribe of the sons of Judah toward the border of Edom in the south were Kabzeel, and Eder, and Jagur, and Kinah, and Dimona, and Adada, and Kadesh, and Hazor, and Ithnan, Ziph, and Telem, and Bealoth, and Hazor Hadattah, and Kerioth Hezron, the same as Hazor, Amam, and Shema, and Molada, and Hazar-Gadah, and Heshmon, and Beth-Pelet, and Hazar-Shual, and Beersheba, and Biziothia, Baala, and Aim, and Azam, and Eltolad, and Chesil, and Hormah, and Ziklag, and Madmannah, and Sansannah, and Lebaoth, and Shilhim, and Ain, and Rimmon. All the cities are 29, with their villages. In the lowland, Eshtaol, and Zorah, and Ashna, and Zanoah, and Enganim, Tapua, and Enam, Jarmuth, and Adullam, Soko, and Azekah, and Sharaim, and Adithaim, and Gederah, and Gederothim. 14 cities with their villages. Zenan, and Hadashah, and Migdal-Gad, and Dilean, and Mizpeh, and Joktheel, Lachish, and Bozkath, and Eglon, and Kaban, and Lamam, and Chitlish, and Gederoth, Beth-Dagon, and Nama, and Makkedah, were 16 cities with their villages. Libnah, and Ether, and Ashan, and Iftah, and Ashna, and Nazib, and Keilah, and Achzib, and Mareshah, 9 cities with their villages. Ekron, with its towns and its villages, from Ekron even to the sea, all that were by the side of Ashdod with their villages, Ashdod, its towns and its villages, Gaza, its towns and its villages, to the brook of Egypt, and the great sea and the border of it. And in the hill country, Shamir and Jatir, and Soko, and Dana, and Kiriath-Sana, the same as Debir, and Anab, and Eshtemoa, and Anim, and Goshen, and Holon, and Galah, 11 cities with their villages, Arab, and Duma, and Ashan, and Janim, and Beth Tappuah, and Aphekah, and Humtah, and Kiriath Arba, the same as Hebron, and Zior, 9 cities with their villages, Maon, Carmel, and Ziph, and Jutah, and Jezreel, and Jokdeam, and Zanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 cities with their villages, Halhul, Bethzur, and Gedor, and Maarath, and Bethanoth, and Eltekon, 6 cities with their villages, Kiriath Baal, the same as Kiriath Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 cities with their villages. In the wilderness, Beth Arabah, Middin, and Sekakah, and Nibshan, and the city of Salt, and En-Gedi, 6 cities with their villages. And as for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the sons of Judah could not drive them out, but the Jebusites dwell with the sons of Judah at Jerusalem to this day. Chapter 16. And the lot came out for the sons of Joseph from the Jordan at Jericho, at the waters of Jericho on the east, even the wilderness going up from Jericho through the hill country to Bethel. And it went out from Bethel to Luz, and passed along to the border of the Archites, to Ataroth. And it went down westward to the border of the Japhletites, to the border of Beth-horon the Nether, even to Gezer. And the goings out of it were at the sea. And the sons of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim took their inheritance. And the border of the sons of Ephraim, according to their families, was thus. The border of their inheritance eastward was Ataroth-Adar, to Beth-horon the Upper, and the border went out westward at Mikmethath on the north. And the border turned about eastward to Tanath-Shiloh, and passed along it on the east of Janoah. And it went down from Janoah to Ataroth and to Nara, and reached to Jericho, and went out at the Jordan. From Tappuah the border went along westward to the brook of Kanah, and the goings out of it were at the sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Ephraim according to their families, together with the cities, which were set apart for the sons of Ephraim, in the midst of the inheritance of the sons of Manasseh, all the cities with their villages. And they did not drive out the Canaanites who dwelt in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwell in the midst of Ephraim to this day, and have become servants to do taskwork. Chapter 17. And this was the lot for the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph. As for Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war, therefore he had Gilead and Bashan. So it was for the rest of the sons of Manasseh, according to their families, for the sons of Abiezer, and for the sons of Helek, and for the sons of Asriel, and for the sons of Shechem, and for the sons of Hepher, and for the sons but Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons but daughters. And these are the names of his daughters, Mahlah, and Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they came near before Eleazar the priest, and before Joshua the son of Nun, and before the rulers, saying, Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our brothers. Therefore, according to the commandment of Lord, he gave, and there fell 10 parts to Manasseh, besides the land of Gilead and Bashan, which is beyond the Jordan, because the daughters of Manasseh had an inheritance among his sons. And the land of Gilead belonged to the rest of the sons of Manasseh. And the border of Manasseh was from Asher to Mikmethath, which is before Shechem. And the border went along to the right hand to the inhabitants of En-Tappuah. The land of Tappuah belonged to Manasseh, but Tappuah on the border of Manasseh belonged to the sons of Ephraim. And the border went down to the brook of Kanah, southward of the brook. These cities belonged to Ephraim among the cities of Manasseh. And the border of Manasseh was on the north side of the brook. And the goings out of it were At southward it was Ephraim's, and northward it was Manasseh's, and the sea was his border. And they reached to Asher on the north and to Issachar on the east. And Manasseh had in Issachar and in Asher Bethshean and its towns, and Ibleam and its towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and its towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and its towns, and the inhabitants of Tanakh and its towns. And yet the sons of Manasseh could not drive out those cities, but the Canaanites would dwell in that land. And it came to pass, when the sons of Israel grew strong, that they put the Canaanites to taskwork, and did not utterly drive them out. And the sons of Joseph spoke to Joshua, saying, Why have thou given me but one lot and one part for an inheritance, seeing I am a great people, inasmuch as until now Lord has blessed me? And Joshua said to them, If thou be a great people, get thee up to the forest, and cut down for thyself there in the land of the Perizzites and of the Rephaim, since the hill country of Ephraim is too narrow for thee. And the sons of Joseph said, The hill country is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites who dwell in the land of the valley have chariots of iron, both those who are in Bethshean and its towns, and those who are in the valley O. And Joshua spoke to the house of Joseph, even to Ephraim and to Manasseh, saying, Thou art a great people and have great power. Thou shalt not have only one lot, but the hill country shall be thine. For though it is a forest, thou shalt cut it down, and the goings out of it shall be thine. For thou shalt drive out the Canaanites, though they have chariots of iron, and though they are strong. Chapter 18. And the whole congregation of the sons of Israel assembled themselves together at Shiloh, and set up the tent of meeting there, and the land was subdued before them. And 7 tribes remained among the sons of Israel, which had not yet divided their inheritance. And Joshua said to the sons of Israel, How long are ye slack to go in to possess the land, which Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you? Appoint for you 3 men of each tribe. And I will send them, and they shall arise, and walk through the land, and describe it according to their inheritance, and they shall come to me. And they shall divide it into 7 portions. Judah shall abide in his border on the south, and the house of Joseph shall abide in their border on the north. And ye shall describe the land into 7 portions, and bring it here to me, and I will cast lots for you here before Lord our God. For the Levites have no portion among you, for the priesthood of Lord is their inheritance. And Gad and Reuben and the half-tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan eastward, which Moses the servant of Lo and the men arose and went. And Joshua charged those who went to describe the land, saying, Go and walk through the land and describe it, and come again to me, and I will cast lots for you here before Lord in Shiloh. And the men went and passed through the land and described it by cities, into 7 portions in a book. And they came to Joshua to the camp at Shiloh. And Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before Lord. And there Joshua divided the land to the sons of Israel according to their divisions. And the lot of the tribe of the sons of Benjamin came up according to their families, and the border of their lot went out between the sons of Judah and the sons of Joseph. And their border on the north quarter was from the Jordan, and the border went up to the side of Jericho on the north, and went up through the hill country westward. And the goings out of it were at the wilderness of Bethaven. And the border passed along from there to Luz, to the side of Luz, the same is Bethel, southward, and the border went down to Adaroth Adar, by the mountain that lays on the south of Beth Horon the nether. And the border extended and turned around on the west quarter southward, from the mountain that lays before Beth Horon southward. And the goings out of it were at Kiriath Baal, the same as Kiriath Jearim, a city of the sons of Jew. And the south quarter was from the uttermost part of Kiriath Jearim. And the border went out westward, and went out to the fountain of the waters of Nephtoah. And the border went down to the uttermost part of the mountain that lays before the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is in the vale of Rephaim, northward. And it went down to the valley of Hinnom, to the side of the Jebusite south, and it extended northward, and went out at En-Shemesh, and went out to Geliloth, which is opposite the ascent of Adumim. And it went down to the stone of Bohan the son of Reuben, and it passed along to the side opposite the Arabah northward, and went down to the Arabah, and the border passed along to the side of Beth-hoglah northward. And the goings out of the border were at the north bay of the Salt Sea, at the south end of the Jordan. This was the south border, and the Jordan was the border of it on the east quarter. This was the inheritance of the sons of Benjamin, by the borders of it, round about, according to their families. Now the cities of the tribe of the sons of Benjamin, according to their families, were Jericho, and Beth-hoglah, and Emech-Kezes, and Beth-arabah, and Zemaraim, and Bethel, and Avim, and Para, and Ophrah, and Shepher-ammoni, and Ophni, and Geba, 12 cities with their villages, Gibeon, and Ramah, and Beeroth, and Mizpah, and Shephirah, and Mozah, and Rechem, and Irpeel, and Taralah, and Zelah, Eleph, and the Jebusite, the same as Jerusalem, Gibeath, and Kiriath, 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the sons of Benjamin according to their families. Chapter 19. And the second lot came out for Simeon, even for the tribe of the sons of Simeon according to their families. And their inheritance was in the midst of the inheritance of the sons of Judah. And they had for their inheritance Beersheba, or Sheba, and Moladah, and Hazar-shual, and Balah, and Azem, and Eltolad, and Bethul, and Hormah, and Ziklag, and Beth-markaboth, and Hazar-susah, and Beth-lebaoth, and Sharuhen, 13 cities with their villages, Ain, Rimmon, and Ether, and Ashan, 4 cities with their villages, and all the villages that were round about these cities to Baalath-beer, Ramah of the south. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Simeon according to their families. The inheritance of the sons of Simeon was out of the part of the sons of Judah, for the portion of the sons of Judah was too much for them. Therefore the sons of Simeon had inheritance in the midst of their inheritance. And the third lot came up for the sons of Zebulun according to their families. And the border of their inheritance was to Sarid, and their border went up westward even to Maralah, and reached to Dabbesheth, and it reached to the brook that is before Jokneam, and it turned from Sarid eastward toward the sunrising to the border of Chisloth-Tabor, and it went out to Daberath, and went up to Japhia. And from there it passed along eastward to Gath-hefer, to Ethkazin, and it went out at Rimmon, which stretcheth to Neah, and the border turned about it on the north to Hanathon. And the goings out of it were at the valley of Iftah-el, and Katath, and Nahalal, and Shimron, and Idalah, and Bethlehem, 12 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the sons of Zebulun according to their families, these cities with their villages. The fourth lot came out for Issachar, even for the sons of Issachar according to their families. And their border was to Jezreel, and Chesulloth, and Shunem, and Haparim, and Shion, and Anahareth, and Rabbath, and Kishion, and Ebez, and Ramoth, and Engannim, and Enhada, and Beth-Pazzez, and the border reached to Tabor, and Shahazumah, and Beth-Shemesh. And the goings out of their border were at the Jordan, 16 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Issachar according to their families, the cities with their villages. And the fifth lot came out for the tribe of the sons of Asher according to their families. And their border was Helkath, and Hali, and Baton, and Akshaph, and Alamelech, and Amad, and Mishal, and it reached to Carmel westward, and to Shihor-Libnath, and it turned toward the sunrising to Beth-Dagon, and reached to Zebulun, and to the valley of Iftah-el northward to Beth-Emek and Neiel, and it went out to Kabul on the left hand, and Ebron, and Rehob, and Hammon, and Kanah, even to great Sidon, and the border turned to Ramah, and to the fortified city of Tyre, and the border turned to Hosah. And the goings out of it were at the sea by the region of Achzib, also Ummah, and Aphek, and Rehob, 22 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Asher according to their families, these cities with their villages. The sixth lot came out for the sons of Naphtali, and Edrei, and En-Hazor, and Iron, and Migdal-el, Horem, and Beth-Anath, and Beth-Shemesh, 19 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Naphtali according to their families, the cities with their villages. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of the sons of Dan according to their families. And the border of their inheritance was Zorah, and Eshtaol, and Ir-Shemesh, and Shalabin, and Aijalon, and Ithla, and Elon, and Timnah, and Ekron, and Eltekeh, and Gibbethon, and Baalath, and Jehud, and Benabarak, and Gath-Rimmon, and Mejarkon, and Rakkon, with the border opposite Joppa. And the border of the sons of Dan went out beyond them, for the sons of Dan went up and fought against Leshem, and took it, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and possessed it, and dwelt in it, and called Leshem Dan, after the Padurai. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Dan according to their families, these cities with their villages. So they made an end of distributing the land for inheritance by the borders of it. And the sons of Israel gave an inheritance to Joshua, the son of Nun, in the midst of them. According to the commandment of Lord, they gave him the city which he asked, even Timnath-Serah in the hill country of Ephraim. And he built the city, and dwelt in it. These are the inheritances, which Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the sons of Israel, distributed for inheritance by lot in Shiloh before Lord, at the door of the tent of. Chapter 20. And Lord spoke to Joshua, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, saying, Assign for you the cities of refuge, of which I spoke to you by Moses, that the manslayer who kills any soul unwittingly and unawares may flee there, and they shall be to you for a refuge from the avenger of blood. And he shall flee to one of those cities, and shall stand at the entrance of the gate of the city, and declare his case in the ears of the elders of that city. And they shall take him into the city to them, and give him a place. And if the avenger of blood pursues after him, then they shall not deliver up the manslayer into his hand, because he smote his neighbor unawares, and did not hate him formerly. And he shall dwell in that city, until he stands before the congregation for judgment, until the death of the high priest who shall be in those days. Then the manslayer shall return, and come to his own city, and to his own house. And they set apart Kadesh, in Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, and Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, the same as Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. And beyond the Jordan at Jericho eastward, they assigned Bezer in the wilderness in the plain out of the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth in Gilead out of the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan out of the tribe of Manasseh. These were the appointed cities for all the sons of Israel, and for the stranger who sojourns among them, that whoever kills any soul unwittingly might flee there, and not die by the hand of the avenger of blood, until he stood before. Chapter 21. Then the heads of fathers of the Levites came near to Eleazar the priest, and to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of fathers of the tribes of the sons of Israel. And they spoke to them at Shiloh in the land of Canaan, saying, Lord commanded Moses to give us cities to dwell in, with the suburbs of it for our cattle. And the sons of Israel gave to the Levites out of their inheritance, according to the commandment of Lord, these cities with their suburbs. And the lot came out for the families of the Kohathites. And the sons of Aaron the priest, who were of the Levites, had by lot out of the tribe of Judah, and out of the tribe of the Simeonites, and out of the tribe of Benjamin. They and the rest of the sons of Kohath had by lot out of the families of the tribe of Ephraim, and out of the tribe of Dan, and out of the half-tribe of Manasseh, 10 cities. And the sons of Gershon had by lot out of the families of the tribe of Issachar, and out of the tribe of Asher, and out of the tribe of Naphtali, and out of the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan, 13 cities. The sons of Merari according to their families had out of the tribe of Reuben, and out of the tribe of Gad, and out of the tribe of Zebulun, 12 cities. And the sons of Israel gave these cities by lot to the Levites with their suburbs, as Lord commanded by Moses. And they gave out of the tribe of the sons of Judah, and out of the tribe of the sons of Simeon, these cities which are here mentioned by name, and they were for the sons of Aaron, of the families of the Kohathites, who were of the sons of Levi, for theirs was the first lot. And they gave them Kiriath Arba. Arba was the father of Anak. The same is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah, with the suburbs of it round about it. But the fields of the city and the villages of it gave they to Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, for his possession. And to the sons of Aaron, the priest, they gave Hebron with its suburbs, the city of refuge for the manslayer, and Libnah with its suburbs, and Jattir with its suburbs, and Eshtemoa with its suburbs, and Holon with its suburbs, and Debir with its suburbs, and Ain with its suburbs, and Juttah with its suburbs, and Beth Shemesh with its suburbs, 9 cities out of those 2 tribes. And out of the tribe of Benjamin, Gibeon with its suburbs, Geba with its suburbs, Anathoth with its suburbs, and Almon with its suburbs, 4 cities. All the cities of the sons of Aaron, the priests, were 13 cities with their suburbs. And the families of the sons of Kohath, the Levites, even the rest of the sons of Kohath, they had the cities of their lot out of the tribe of Ephraim. And they gave them Shechem with its suburbs in the hill country of Ephraim, the city of refuge for the manslayer, and Gezer with its suburbs, and Kibzaim with its suburbs, and Beth-horon with its suburbs, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Dan, Eltekeh with its suburbs, Gibbethon with its suburbs, Aijalon with its suburbs, Gath-rimmon with its suburbs, 4 cities. And out of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Taanach with its suburbs, and Gath-rimmon with its suburbs, 2 cities. All the cities of the families of the rest of the sons of Kohath were 10 with their suburbs. Chapter 22. Then Joshua called the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh, and said to them, Ye have kept all that Moses the servant of Lord commanded you, and have hearkened to my voice in all that I commanded you. Ye have not left your brothers these many days to this day, but have kept the charge of the commandment of Lord your God. And now Lord your God has given rest to your brothers, as he spoke to them. Therefore now turn ye and get you to your tents, to the land of your possession, which Moses the servant of Lord gave you beyond the Jordan. Only take diligent heed to do the commandment and the law which Moses the servant of Lord commanded you, to love Lord your God, and to walk in all his ways, the commandments, cling to him, serve him with us. So Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their tents. Now to the one half-tribe of Manasseh Moses had given in Bashan, but to the other half Joshua gave among their brothers beyond the Jordan westward. Moreover, when Joshua sent them away to their tents, he blessed them and spoke to them, saying, Return with much wealth to your tents, and with very much cattle, with silver, and with gold, and with brass, and with iron, and with very much raiment. Divide the spoil of your enemies with your brothers. And the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh returned, and departed from the sons of Israel out of Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the land of Gilead, to the land of their possession. And when they came to the region about the Jordan that is in the land of Canaan, the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh built there an altar by the Jordan, a great altar to look upon. And the sons of Israel heard say, Behold, the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh have built an altar in the forefront of the land of Canaan, in the region about the Jordan, on the side that pertains to. And when the sons of Israel heard of it, the whole congregation of the sons of Israel gathered themselves together at Shiloh to go up against them to war. And the sons of Israel sent Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest to the sons of Reuben and to the sons of Gad and to the half-tribe of Manasseh into the land of Gilead, and with him 10 rulers, 1 ruler of a father's house for each of the tribes of Israel. And they were each man of them head of their fathers' houses among the thousands of Israel. And they came to the sons of Reuben and to the sons of Gad and to the half-tribe of Manasseh to the land of Gilead, and they spoke with them, saying, Thus says the whole congregation of Lord, What trespass is this that ye have committed against the God of Israel, to turn away this day from following Lord, in that ye have built for you an altar to rebel this day against Lord? Is the iniquity of Peor too little for us, from which we have not cleansed ourselves to this day, although there came a plague upon the congregation of Lord, that ye must turn away this day from following Lord? And it will be, seeing ye rebel today against Lord, that tomorrow he will be angry with the whole congregation of Israel. However, if the land of your possession is unclean, then pass ye over to the land of the possession of Lord, in which Lord's tabernacle dwells, and take possession among us. But do not rebel against Lord, nor rebel against us. In B.E. Did not Achan the son of Zerah commit a trespass in what was set apart, and wrath fell upon all the congregation of Israel? And that man did not perish alone in his iniquity. Then the sons of Reuben, and the sons of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh answered and spoke to the heads of the thousands of Israel, the mighty one, God, Lord, the mighty one. God, Lord, he knows, and Israel he shall know. If it is in rebellion, or if in trespass against Lord, do not save us this day, that we have built us an altar to turn away from following Lord, or if to offer burnt offering or meal offering on it, or if to offer sacrifices of peace offerings on it, let Lord himself require it. And if we have not rather out of carefulness done this, from purpose, saying, in time to come your sons might speak to our sons, saying, what have ye to do with Lord, the God of Israel? For Lord has made the Jordan a border between us and you, ye sons of Reuben and sons of Gad. Ye have no portion in Lord. So your sons might make our sons cease from fearing Lord. Therefore we said, let us now prepare to build us an altar, not for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice, but it shall be a witness between us and you, and between our generations after us, that we may do the service of Lord before him with our burnt offerings, and with our sacrifices, and with our peace offerings, that your sons may auditory. Therefore we said, it shall be, when they so say to us or to our generations in time to come, that we shall say, behold the pattern of the altar of Lord, which our fathers made, not for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice, but it is far be it from us that we should rebel against Lord, and turn away this day from following Lord, to build an altar for burnt offering, for meal offering, or for sacrifice, besides the altar of Lord our God that is before his tabernacle. And when Phinehas the priest, and the rulers of the congregation, even the heads of the thousands of Israel that were with him, heard the words that the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad and the sons of Manasseh spoke, it pleased. And Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest said to the sons of Reuben and to the sons of Gad and to the sons of Manasseh, this day we know that Lord is in the midst of us, because ye have not committed this trespass against Lord. And Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest and the rulers returned from the sons of Reuben and from the sons of Gad out of the land of Gilead to the land of Canaan, to the sons of Israel, and brought them word again. And the thing pleased the sons of Israel. And the sons of Israel blessed God, and spoke no more of going up against them to war, to destroy the land in which the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad dwelt. And the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad called the altar Ed. For, they said, it is a witness between us that Lord is God. Chapter 23. And it came to pass after many days, when Lord had given rest to Israel from all their enemies round about, and Joshua was old and well stricken in years, that Joshua called for all Israel, for their elders and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and said to them, I am old and well stricken in years, and ye have seen all that Lord your God has done to all these nations because of you. For Lord your God, he it is who has fought for you. Behold, I have allotted to you these nations that remain, to be an inheritance for your tribes from the Jordan, with all the nations that I have cut off, even to the great sea toward the going down of the sun. And Lord your God, he will thrust them out from before you, and drive them from out of your sight, and ye shall possess their land, as Lord your God spoke to you. Therefore be ye very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, that ye not turn aside therefrom to the right hand or to the left, that ye do not come among these nations, these that remain among you, neither make mention of the name of their gods, nor cause to swear by them, neither serve them, nor bow yourselves down to them, but cling to Lord your God as ye have done to this day. For Lord has driven out from before you great nations and strong, but as for you, no man has stood before you to this day. One man of you shall chase 1,000, for Lord your God, he it is who fights for you, as he spoke to you. Take good heed therefore to yourselves, that ye love Lord your God. Else if ye do at all go back and cling to the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and make marriages with them, and go into them, and they to you, know for a certainty that Lord your God will no more drive these nations from out of your sight, but they shall be a snare and a trap to you, and a scourge in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good. And behold, this day I am going the way of all the earth, and ye know in all your hearts and in all your souls, that not one thing has failed of all the good things which Lord your God spoke concerning you. All have come to pass, and it shall come to pass, that as all the good things have come upon you of which Lord your God spoke to you, so will Lord bring upon you all the evil things, until he has destroyed you from off this good land which Lord your God, when ye transgress the covenant of Lord your God, which he commanded you, and go and serve other gods, and bow down yourselves to them, then the anger of Lord will be kindled against you, and ye shall perish quickly from off the go. Chapter 24. And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and called for the elders of Israel, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and they presented themselves before God. And Joshua said to all the people, Thus says Lord the God of Israel, Your fathers dwelt of old time beyond the river, even Terah, the father of Abraham and the father of Nahor, and they served other gods. And I took your father Abraham from beyond the river, and led him throughout all the land of Canaan, and multiplied his seed, and gave him Isaac. And I gave to Isaac Jacob and Esau. And I gave to Esau Mount Seir to possess it. And Jacob and his sons went down into Egypt, and I sent Moses and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt, according to that which I did in the midst of it, and afterward I brought you out. And I brought your fathers out of Egypt, and ye came to the sea, and the Egyptians pursued after your fathers with chariots and with horsemen to the Red Sea. And when they cried out to Lord, he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and brought the sea upon them, and covered them. And your eyes saw what I did in Egypt, and ye dwelt in the wilderness many days. And I brought you into the land of the Amorites, who dwelt beyond the Jordan, and they fought with you. And I gave them into your hand, and ye possessed their land, and I destroyed them from before you. Then Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and fought against Israel, and he sent and called Balaam the son of Beor to curse you, but I would not hearken to Balaam. Therefore he blessed you greatly, so I delivered you out of his hand. And ye went over the Jordan and came to Jericho. And the men of Jericho fought against you the Amorite, and the Perizzite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Girgashite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite. And I delivered them, and I sent the hornet before you, which drove them out from before you, even the 2 kings of the Amorites, not with thy sword, nor with thy bow. And I gave you a land in which thou had not labored, and cities which ye did not build, and ye dwell in it. Ye eat of vineyards and oliveyards which ye did not plant. Now therefore fear Lord, and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served beyond the river, and in Egypt, and serve ye Lord. And if it seems evil to you to serve Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, and the people answered and said, Far be it from us that we should forsake Lord, to serve other gods. For Lord our God, He it is who brought us and our fathers up out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage, and who did those great signs in our sight, and preserved us in all the way in which we went, and among all the people, and Lord drove out from before us all the peoples, even the Amorites who dwelt in the land. Therefore we also will serve Lord, for He is our God. And Joshua said to the people, Ye cannot serve Lord, for He is a holy God. He is a jealous God. He will not forgive your transgression nor your sins. If ye forsake Lord and serve foreign gods, then He will turn and do you evil and consume you after He has done you good. And the people said to Joshua, No, but we will serve Lord. And Joshua said to the people, Ye are witnesses against yourselves that ye have chosen for you Lord, to serve Him. And they said, We are witnesses. Now therefore, he said, put away the foreign gods which are among you, and incline your heart to Lord, the God of Israel. And the people said to Joshua, We will serve Lord our God, and we will hearken to His voice. So Joshua made a covenant with the people that day, and set them a statute and an ordinance in Shechem. And Joshua wrote these words in the book of the law of God. And he took a great stone, and set it up there under the oak that was by the sanctuary of Lord. And Joshua said to all the people, Behold, this stone shall be a witness against us, for it has heard all the words of Lord which He spoke to us. It shall be therefore a witness against you, lest ye deny your God. So Joshua sent the people away, every man to his inheritance. And it came to pass after these things that Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of Lord, died, being 110 years old. And they buried him in the border of his inheritance in Timnath-serah, which is in the hill country of Ephraim, on the north of the mountain of Gaash. And Israel served Lord all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders who outlived Joshua, and had known all the work of Lord that He had wrought for Israel. And they buried the bones of Joseph, which the sons of Israel brought up out of Egypt in Sisima, in the portion of the land which Jacob bought from the Amorites who dwelt in Sisima for 100 ewe lambs. And he gave it to Joseph, and Eleazar the son of Aaron died. And they buried him in the hill of Phinehas his son, which was given him in the hill country of Ephraim. If you like the content, don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos.